Doubling, tripling, and even quadrupling your business is actually a lot easier than you might expect. Welcome to another episode of The Route. I'm your host, Landon Daines. On this episode, I'm going to walk you through a true case study of exactly how I 10x'd one of my clients' profit in less than 2 months. And so I'm going to keep some of the information more vague or private just to protect his privacy, but this client's been working with me for about 3 or 4 months now, probably closer to 4. And it's been an amazing transformation for him, and it's very similar to what we do with all of our clients that we work with. So many people have gotten these same results, but just want to highlight one of them. One of the first clients that started with us, and his journey's been incredible. And hopefully for you, any listeners, help you break some of the barriers in your business, help you unlock some growth, help you get to the next level, and get some ideas of how exactly that can happen. So I'll walk you through step by step of where he was at when he came in, exactly what we did step by step, and then where he's at now, and what the next steps look like to help him get to the even next level from beyond where he's at currently and where he'll be at then. So let's jump right in. So he came to us and he had about 200 customers, been in business about 5 years, and he was doing bi-monthly services, roughly 70 to 80 bucks per service. And over the past 3 or 4 years, business had actually started to slow down for him. He had some unfortunate things happen in his business, with an employee and with some other expenses that came up. So he was kind of coming to us on a down slope in his business, trying to figure out, hey, how can I grow this thing? He had lost a handful of his customers from those events that happened, and he wanted to get back to where he was and even further. So we sat down. Number one thing we did first was we looked at the numbers. When he came to us, he was doing about 10 to 11K of revenue per month and essentially zero profit. Maybe 500 bucks, maybe 1,000 bucks, maybe. It really fluctuated, but there really was no margin of profit in the business. So we sat down first, got all the numbers on paper, and we helped him get QuickBooks up and going. A lot of the owners we work with don't even have an accounting or bookkeeping software. I'd say that's about 60 to 70% of owners. About 20 to 25% have a bookkeeper who does those things for them. But the owner themselves is still super blind to the numbers and reports and what those means and the percentages, and they have no idea. And so they talk to us and they say, oh yeah, we have a bookkeeper for that. But they'd have no idea where the money's at or where the revenue or profit or anything's at. But they feel good because they have some professional taking care of it. And then there's about 5, maybe 10% of people who actually have these numbers dialed in. So he was in that 60 to 70% range. We sat down and helped him set up a P&L, a profit and loss statement with all the correct categories, go through the past 4 months and categorize all the transactions in the business. And the biggest thing we found was there was a ton of mix-over of personal and business expenses. So the first thing we need to do was pull all of the personal expenses out of the business, because not only one is that an issue with tax filings and what's legal and all those kind of things, but two, and maybe more importantly, is we had no idea when those things are mixed. You have no idea how profitable the business is or where the money's at or what growth is even happening when things are mixed up like that. And it's actually a more common thing than you might realize. If you're listening to this and you have personal expenses mixed in with your business, tons of red flags. So I've talked to many owners who say, hey, it's just the way I'm doing it, and if I get audited, I'll deal with that then. Definitely not the right mindset to have. So first things first, separate those things and figure out, okay, these are the true business expenses. Let's get the personal out. Let's get those on a personal card. And once we had the true business expenses, then we cut out what was unnecessary. So a lot of business owners start and they get happy, they get excited because they're running a business and they've never been able to make business decisions and expense decisions and have that freedom to spend money as they want. And so a lot of business owners spend frivolously and money goes everywhere. So we cut back a lot of the money and was able to bring a lot of the money back into the business simply by just knowing where the money's at. And so for any owners out there, if you just simply track the numbers, I would say fire your bookkeeper, do it yourself for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And number one, you will save so much money. And number two, I think you'll enjoy it and you'll keep doing it long term. So got all the numbers dialed in, got the finances dialed in, and then we projected the next 3 years and just put some true numbers on paper. Hey, if we can do this much in new sales, if we can do this price point, if we can maintain this retention percentage, here's where we'll be at in 3 years if we follow this model of expenses and being smart with the money. And having that vision changed his perspective of what was possible. And he started to see, okay, this is not just a job I'm stuck doing because I'm an owner operator. I'm not going to be stuck in the truck forever. If we can do this, there's a vision of hiring someone and getting off the truck and growing this company. So got the numbers fixed, got his vision fixed too of what's possible. Then the next step was bolstering up the service. So like I said, he was doing a bi-monthly service for 70 to 80 bucks per service, which for most markets, for most people, sounds very standard, very average. What we do here and what we did with him was we totally flipped it on its head and we said, hey, we want to double that price. So let's back into that and let's give you some tactile things you can add on to your service to back up that price, and so people will pay that. So he had been doing a typical spray of the home, spray the interior, and I believe 5 feet out from the house doing some treatments, and then as needed in the yard. So we said, hey, here's what we're going to do. Let's treat the entire property every time. So full front yard, full backyard, every time twice. First time through is a blanket treatment. Second time through, you're going to bait any ant mounds. So when a customer asks you, what do? Boom, you tell them, hey, we're going to spray the house, obviously, like every company. But on top of that, we treat the entire property, front yard and backyard, twice. That way there's no ants, spiders, or anything coming from the yard. So we stop the bugs from their source. Boom. Huge value add to the customer. Only costs him an extra $1 or $2 of chemicals and of time. It's essentially no extra cost. On top of that, he had been doing some eave sweeping, and so we added the treatment portion. So hey, we already sweep the eaves. Now on top of that, we're going to put some treatment up there. That way it prevents new activity from coming back. Bees, wasps, spiders. It keeps those areas cleaner longer. So last thing was implementing slightly higher quality products to make it last longer. So we've covered more area. The service itself sounds like it's 2 to 3 times more than it was, which it is. That's the biggest thing, is keeping everything very ethical. We're not going to raise prices if we can't justify it or if there's not the value to back it up. And then by doing that, we're able to raise the price. So he just actually mentioned today to me, again, this is 2 or 3 months down the road from when he started, but he just sold a customer at $160 every other month. So he was pumped because his price has officially doubled since he started. But the first couple weeks, the biggest bump we did was we went up to 120. So he went from 70 or 80 to 120 per service. So right away. And the big thing to know here is when people hear that, they think, oh, you're making $40 more per service. It's completely wrong. So just for some quick math, if right now you're doing services for 80 bucks per service, and then let's say there's 60 bucks of cost associated with the cost of chemicals, time, products, gas, insurance, rent, phone, like everything included, there's 60 bucks of costs. You're making $20 profit per service. So in this situation, if he raised his price to 120, you're not making $40 more per service. You actually now make your profit triples because everything goes straight to the profit. There's no added cost in raising your price. So there's actually a huge impact in raising your price if you do it the right way, because sure, his price went from 80 to 120, which is 1.5xing his price, but he tripled his profit, which is the most important thing we talk about with him and with everyone we work with, is we want more money in your pocket. So understand that raising prices has a bigger impact on your bottom line and money in your pocket than you might realize. So right then, we tripled his profit. If those numbers were correct, which actually they weren't. It was about 5 or 6x at that point. But raise prices, and then it's important that once we raise those prices and we added those elements to the service, we improve customer communication as well. Because the whole experience with the customer needs to be premium, not just one aspect here or here, everything all together. So the service was great now, even better than before. And again, as a side note, most, if not every owner we work with already has a great service. Most guys we work with come from pest control. They know a great service. They know how to talk to customers. They know how to deliver great results to customers' home. But if that's the only aspect that's premium or elite, you can't charge a premium price because it needs to all be consistent. So we improved his customer communication. Up until then, I believe he had been sending reminders out a week or two in advance. And so he had a huge headache with reschedules. So he'd send out all these reminders, people would call to reschedule, and now his routes were really far apart, and it was a headache for him. So we moved that up to 2 days before the service, the reminders go out. We also changed his billing to be monthly billing to make it a lot easier for the customer and for him, for cash flow and for improved collections. So now he's making more because he raised his prices. He's collecting more because it's monthly billing. Customers are happier because things are smoother and easier for them, and they're getting a better service. So everything within the business is functioning better. This was about, I want to say about 6 weeks in. So all that happened within the first 6 weeks. The 2 or 3 months before we talked, he was doing, like I said, $0 to $500 in profit a month. It kind of fluctuated, but on average, probably $200, maybe that. Month 3, which was month 3 in the year, but month 2 with us, he did over $7,000 profit, which was incredible. So he was pumped out of his mind, and it all came from, again, dialing in the numbers, improving the service be premium, raising the prices, backing up that price increase with improved customer communication, improved service, monthly billing, improved collections, and then he netted about 50% of the revenue that he made that month, which for any owner out there, if you think about that, if you do 50% profit of what you do month over month in revenue, run those numbers in your head right now, and that could be pretty awesome for you with your family, with your company, with the growth and what's possible. And that was our whole vision when we sat down day one and said, okay, where can this be in 6, 12, 18, 24 months? And once there was a clear vision of, hey, we could hire a technician, we could get you off the truck. Now, once this technician's hired, you now free up 30 to 40 hours per week of your time. Now we can grow the business faster because you're not stuck in a truck every day, because that's fully replaced. Now we're going to get you in higher leverage activities, which the first one we've done now is focusing more on higher ticket jobs. So exclusions or termite jobs. Now he's focusing on that because before we talked, he really hadn't pushed termite. One, he didn't have a good game plan on how to do it, but 2, he just didn't have the time for it because he was fully maxed out just being basically a solo technician doing all the houses. But he was able to hire a technician. Now a lot of his time is freed up. So now, cool, that's taken care of. We still have profit because, again, if you do $7K of profit as a solo operator, you have margin to hire a technician. And that's one of the most important things to think about is as you're growing a business, you can't think of where you're at right now. You can't price things based on that. You really need to think years down the road and build in the margin so you can scale. I talk to owners every week who say, hey, I'm doing good. I mean, I charge whatever, 60, 70, $80 per service. I got like 20% profit coming in every month, and I'm happy with where I'm at, and eventually I'll hire a guy and we'll scale. What they don't realize is the model's broken, and you can't fix a broken model by getting more customers in the door because that function's broken. It'll never fix itself. And that's what caps so many owners from scaling is just having a broken model. So it's really important that as you are a solo operator or as you are in the early stages of your business, you think years down the road of when I have 5 technicians or when I have an office space or when I have, fill in the blank, where do these numbers need to be for that to happen or for that to even be possible? And then start to do it that way. And one of 2 things will happen. Number 1, you may just enjoy your job so much more and your business so much more being a solo operator and making way more margin that you're like, hey, this is cool. I'm gonna roll with this and I'm happy with it. Or number 2, now you do have the margin to hire and scale, and you do that way faster and much more every time has been replaced. And you can either grow the business or way more passively, you sit back and you're CEO managing the business and it's growing by itself. And again, you still have more money coming in the door. So it's a win-win scenario, but it all starts with early on in the business, understanding what's my vision for this, what's the plan, and building a model around that. And most people, families, friends, like people around you, don't understand that. And so it's really hard to to do that early on and to communicate that to people around you, because people just don't understand that. So get around people who do understand business, who have done it way higher and way farther than you, because they'll understand that and they'll help you build that out earlier on. So once he hired the technician, now he's doing more higher ticket things. So termites one of them. One of the biggest things for termite jobs is he had been planning on charging an install fee and then a small monthly fee or renewal fee for termites. So for bait stations, say $500 install, and then every year it's $100 renewal, and you'll just keep getting that every year after that. And we looked at the numbers, and I helped him see, hey, this is one of the kind of common things in the industry that a lot of owners do, but this is not the best way to do it. So we broke that model and said, hey, what if we just charge $99 straight across the board? The key difference here is in option one, the $500 install, $100 renewal fee, you make $500 year one, and then $100 every year after that. Most bait stations, either Centricon or Trilona, it's about $300 or $400 for the stations for the install, and then $50 or $100 every year to renew. So he was essentially making no money off this. So we said, hey, if we do $99 a month straight across the board, year one we make about $1,200. Year two we make about $1,200. Year three, and on and on and on. So we're making about $1,200 per year. If it costs us, say, $400 year one to get those all installed, we still make $800 of profit. The crazy thing is, year two and beyond, it's still $1,200 we're making, and it only costs us maybe $100. So we're making 90+% profit on these termite jobs month over month over month. And that alone is going to just shoot his profit through the roof. We haven't even seen the returns on that yet because he's just starting that. But again, seeing the vision years down the road and really running the numbers and understanding, okay, the industry does this typically. Is that best for me? Or is that even best for the industry? So many owners out there follow what's been done before. And there's two ways to think about it. One is there are companies out there that are backed by tens of millions of dollars of investment and of private equity that no small operator can compete with. So they're playing a different ball game. So they can do lower cost jobs, or they can charge less per service because they're just waiting for an exit, or they're not making profit month over month. And once they sell the company, that's when they get all the returns, because again, they're backed by tens of millions of dollars. So the game they're playing is different. So if you copy them, which a lot of owners have, you're going to run on super small margins, and just your fire is going to burn out and you're going to go under. The other thing is, if you copy those people, you're not setting yourself apart. So number one, it's already broken. But number two, you have no competitive advantage because you're doing the same thing everyone else has done. So you really need to sit down and understand the numbers, understand why it's been done, understand what game you're playing, and then play that game. So if you want to make money, charge more. If you want to scale a business, build in the margin to do that so you can hire and get off the truck and then scale. So those are the numbers of what's happened. He was doing about 10 to 11K of revenue per month, making zero profit. Now, last month he did, I believe, 18K of revenue. Profit numbers haven't came in yet exactly, but should be around 9 or 10K. So just shot his profit through the roof. Some of the intangibles or things that you can't really track. Number one is his customers. As you charge more, you're going to get better customers. So not only having the better systems in place with customer communication and scheduling and billing, that helps the customer experience. But number two, when you're charging more, they're just better customers. So he's had less reservices, less complaints, less reschedules, less routes that are thrown off. And all around, he's enjoying his business more because he's dealing with better people, better customers. Sorry, not better people. Better customers. They could be the same quality of humans. But better customers, making more, and he's doing the same work. That's really what it comes down to, is nothing's changed in his business as far as what he does. And the thing that I want to really drive home is we haven't even touched his sales and marketing yet. We've done nothing there. And that's going to be around the corner, and that's when things will really shoot through the roof, and I'll post another update on how things go then. But we've over 10x'd his profit without even touching his lead flow. without even doing any more marketing or ads or anything at all. So really want to drive home the point that you can 10x your business, your profit, without ever getting or needing to get more customers than you currently are. There's a lot more money, there's a lot more meat on the bone with what you already have. So don't fall into the trap of just thinking I need more customers, because you need a better model. And once you have a great model, you'll number one, you'll get more customers because it's a great model, and number two, you won't need more customers again because it's a great model. You'll want customers and you'll go get them because so you can make more, but you'll never need more. You'll have plenty of money coming in the door because again, the prices are great and the service is great and it continues to build upon itself. So that's been his experience in less than 2 or 3 months, over 10x his profit, paying down credit card debt he has, been paying down business debt, been able to hire a technician, has mentioned that him and his wife are just, business is positive again. For a lot of owners, year 2, 3, 4, 5, they get into this rut and business just becomes a stressful thing. And it affects their relationships, it affects their home life, it affects their family life, it affects how they show up as husbands and fathers, and it can really become a stressful thing that affects your entire life. But we've revamped everything, flipped everything on its head, and he enjoys it more. Business is making money, he's enjoying the people he's working with, he has a vision of what's possible for the next 2-3 years and how to get there, and there's nothing that's going to be able to stop him because he has a model that's in place that can't break. So just want to give that case study and that recap of his experience. If you're a business owner out there that wants us to look at your business and go through some of those things and what we could do to help you, book a call with us and we'll just, for free, we'll walk you through exactly what we would do for you and what that would look like. And if it's a fit, if it makes sense for you, we can work together of making that happen. If not, you can just take it for free and implement those things on your own. But again, shift away from comparing yourself to the big guys. You're playing a different game. Focus on the model. Don't focus on the need for customers. I just want to drive that point home one more time. I talk to so many owners who I have this conversation with and I present this model to them and they say, no, I'll figure that out later. I need more customers right now. And it's completely reverse thinking. It's like saying, oh, I'll go to the gym once I'm in shape. It doesn't work. You got to do one to get number two. You can't get number two without number one. So look at your business, look at the model that's there. How much are customers paying? How long are they staying? What's the lifetime value of a customer? What's the profit per customer? What's the gross profit per customer? What is it costing you to do each house? Is there even margin to hire another guy? Because if there's not, you're stuck there forever. Or you have to go back and raise everyone's price by 20-30% to make room for a technician, and you're going to have tons of fall off because those customers were sold at a lower price and that's what they expect. So again, your model will completely be janked up and you won't be able to fix it. So fix the model first. More customers will come in. You'll make more money. You'll enjoy your job more. You'll enjoy your business more. If you've lost that fire of talking about your business or coming home to your spouse and telling them how the day went or what's around the corner, what your goals are, this is how to fix that. Fix the model. So again, thanks for listening. As always, leave a review if it's been helpful, and send this to someone who might be owning a business, running a pest control company, and might be looking for ways to grow it and get there faster, because this is how to do it. So as always, thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next episode.